十去 KFC 食雞髀，排到埋去冇錢俾，俾4個僆仔恥笑你，實在生活真抵死，冇上面你望住個地。
This is the Learn Cantonese Fast channel again. Long time no see. So today I'm going to talk about Cantonese adjectives. Some of the Cantonese adjectives they use strictly Chinese characters, but then some of them you cannot write them in Chinese characters, and also some of them are similar to Mandarin, but then some of them are actually very Cantonese. In any case, let me start by tall, go. Okay, go is the first tone. Ngai is the second tone. Ngai, so it's a rising tone, second tone. So the pitch of ai is a little bit lower than the pitch of go. Okay, go ngai, go ngai, fei, fat. For skinny or slim, we use sao. Okay, so we don't really distinguish between slim and skinny. Okay, fei sao, fei, fei,收手收手收手收手瘦手手收，可以肥瘦。長短，長 is long， 短 is short。長長短長短。So we have 高矮、肥瘦、長短。And then the other thing which is kind of ambiguous to English-speaking people is another go. Okay? So when we say high, we use the same word go, right, for both high and tall. Okay? So either tall or high, we use go. But then for low, we use dai instead of ngai. Ngai is short, but then low is dai. Okay? 矮低係高矮肥瘦長短高低係高矮肥瘦長短高低 and then we have big for 大 for big and then 細 for small 細 well it is a Chinese character but then normally the Mandarin speaking people they seldom use the word 細 but then in Cantonese we use a lot of 細 okay so instead of 小 is more Mandarin right and the reason is because this word 小 has a very similar sound than as the other word, which is also 小, right? But then it means little or few, right? So whether it's 細 or 小, whether it's 細 or few or little, we use the same sound 小, but then you can recognize that it's a little bit different, right? For few or little, we use this character 小 instead of that 小, okay? So there's an extra stroke here. Right. So 大、細 or 小 and then for much and more, for much or many, we use 多 right? 大、細、多、少 right? And 小 for small, we can actually use this word to create new terms. For example, 小朋友朋友 means friend. 小朋友 means a little friend means kids. Right? 小朋友 is a kid. And or if you want to talk in a more Cantonese fashion, you say 細蚊仔, right? So instead of 小朋友, we say 細蚊仔. 小朋友is more friendly or more Mandarin or more formal, more polite. But then 細蚊仔is a very common term and it's not rude or anything, but it's just 細蚊仔 is more Cantonese, right? 細蚊仔 is more casual, more Cantonese. 細蚊 is mosquito. 仔 is a small thing, right? 細蚊仔 means a small little kid. And for little and a little we use 好少, and then a little we use 少少. Okay. And then 多啲少啲, okay? So more, few or less, 多啲 more for more and 少啲 for few or less. So remember in Cantonese we don't have countable nouns or uncountable nouns. So whether it's few or less we use the same thing 少啲, okay? Because there is nothing known as countable and uncountable. If you want to quantify things, you have to have a quantifying unit. And then we have wide foot and a narrow 窄, right? Foot. This is difficult to pronounce. Foot. Okay, so if you pronounce it as an English word, we have foot, but then instead of pronouncing the T, well, we have a glottal stop, right? Foot without t, right? Foot, right? Foot, which is the third tone. Foot. And then 窄 zack, 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 without the K sound. Zack, 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 zack. Right? Foot zack, foot zack. And then lang, beautiful or handsome. And then 醜樣, 醜 can also mean shameful. 醜 can also mean ugly. Right? 樣 is the appearance. 醜樣. Right? So the appearance is not good. Right? 醜. And then 醜, as I mentioned, can also mean shame or shameful. And then 光 and 暗. Right? 光 means bright, 暗 means dim, right? Without much light, 暗. And then sometimes you can use 亮, but 亮 is very Mandarin. Right? We seldom use 亮. Right? So most likely you use 光, 好光 instead of 好亮. 好亮 is Mandarin. 好光 is Cantonese. And then 滑 and 粗.滑is smooth. Smooth is 滑. Rough is 粗. 滑滑滑滑滑滑滑滑粗粗粗粗粗粗粗滑滑滑滑滑滑 right? 粗 and 滑滑粗. Sometimes we use a more Cantonese word 鞋 but then 鞋 is actually not a Chinese character, so we cannot write it. So instead of so I didn't put it here because I couldn't write it. 鞋 right? 鞋 it sounds the same as the word shoe for 鞋 鞋 for shoe. It says your shoe or your shoes high. Right? Rough is actually high. High is more correct in terms of it's more often used. Right? Because high is more Cantonese. Right? Wat and high. Right? Sometimes we say wat lut lut high sap sap. Right? Wat lut lut high sap sap. Right? Cho is more Mandarin. And then noisy is cho. It's very noisy. 好嘈. And then quiet, 靜靜靜靜靜靜靜靜靜靜 right? You have a lot of nasal sound at the end. Right? 靜靜靜靜靜靜靜靜嘈嘈嘈嘈嘈嘈嘈同埋靜 right? 嘈 and 靜 right? So in Mandarin you seldom use just one single word 嘈 you say 嘈吵 or you say 吵 很吵 instead of 好嘈 right? So you use another word. And then 熱凍暖 right? Hot, cold and warm. 熱熱熱熱熱熱熱熱凍凍凍凍凍凍熱凍 right? So in Mandarin they not often, well, they most likely would not use the word 凍. They use 冷. Right? 冷 is not a common Cantonese word. Most people will use 凍 instead. Right? So 凍 is very Cantonese and 冷 is very Mandarin. Right? 熱凍暖 暖 is warm. And then 開心 心 is the heart. 開 means opening your heart, means happy. Right? So opening your heart means happy. And sad is 慘 好慘. Right? Or 慘 can also mean pathetic. Right? So you are in a very pathetic situation. 好慘 right? Very difficult situation. You are very not happy, and so on. So heartbroken and so on. So for heartbroken, we actually have another term 傷心. Right? 傷 is injured. Right? So you have an injured heart. 傷心. Right? 開心 open heart. Injured heart 傷心. 開心傷心. 唔開心 唔開心 is the opposite of 開心. Right? So you add the word 唔開心 or 傷心 or 好慘 or 慘. And then strong is, well, we have a lot of different words for strong. Right? So for example, you can use 壯. 壯 means you're physically very strong. Right? 壯. And then 強, very powerful. 勁 is a powerful motion. 勁 so for example you have 好勁打得好勁. For example you are doing a lot of cage fight. Right? In that case we use the word 勁 a lot. Right? 勁. And then for weak we have other words. For example 弱 or 渣. Right? 渣 is actually not a Chinese word. Right? 渣 is very Cantonese because Mandarin people, they never use 渣. They don't understand this word at all. So 弱 or 渣. 弱 can also mean physically or your health being very weak. Okay? And then 渣 is your capability is not very good. I mean, you don't really have strong capability or strong body, 渣, right? And then smart, 醒.醒by itself actually means wake up, right? But then in Cantonese, 醒 also means, well, you have this very sharp brain. I mean, you're always awake, right? 醒. 蠢 is dumb, right? But for the word dumb, we have different terms, right? 蠢 means you're mentally stupid, right? 蠢, right? So your IQ is very low, 蠢. 頓 has something to do with emotion. You always do it, your thoughts are very slow, your emotions are very slow. We call it 頓. 笨 is actually not as bad as 蠢, but then 笨 actually means you are not doing smart things all the time. So, for example, you are tricked by people, you don't think deeply or clearly. We call it 笨, right? 笨 can also mean your motion is slow, okay? 傻 is not as bad as 蠢, right? But 傻 is actually not very good because somehow you're mentally not very mature in terms of thinking, and then you're also not very smart, right? 傻. And then capable, we have the word lag. Lag is a very Cantonese word. Right? Lag is very capable. Incapable, again, we use the word 渣. 渣 can also mean 弱. Okay? 廢 means you somehow you are disabled in some aspects, right? 廢, right? So, for example, you cannot handle something. You can also say 廢, or 有廢. And then 冇用, 冇用 is the opposite of 有用. 有用 is useful. 冇用 is useless. Right? It means not capable. And also, or sometimes we use a not very good word 屎. 你好屎. Right? So, for example, you're not very good at tennis. People can say that you are very 屎, right? Meaning that you are not good at something. You are very bad, actually very bad at something. And then 有用冇用, 有用冇用, useful, useless. 有 having, 冇 having none, right? 用 means the usage, right? Using or usage. 用 有用冇用, right? Having something that is useful, and then having none that is useful. And 厚 for thick, and then for thick, well, thick actually has two meaning in English. Thick can also mean can mean very thick in terms of as a measurement of the thickness. Or thick can also mean, for example, when you say something is a soup is very thick, right? So the first meaning is the thickness of the thing. We call it 厚 in Cantonese. And then 濃 for coffee. For example, while the coffee is very, very thick because you've added a lot of milk into it. Right? 濃 and 厚. 厚 is the thickness. 濃 is the concentration. Right? 濃 厚 濃. And then, but then 濃 actually is not very Cantonese. The correct Cantonese term is 結, right? 結 好結. Right? So most people we use 結 instead of 濃. Right? 濃 is Mandarin. And then 稀 and 薄. 薄 is very thin for thickness. 稀 is for concentration, and so on and so forth. I'll upload everything here onto my website. So let me jump to colors. Right? 顏色. Right? Color. We have 紅、橙、黃、綠、青、藍、紫. Right? Sometimes we use 青 instead of 青. Right? 紅、橙、黃、綠、青、藍、紫. And then we have 黑色、白色、灰色. Right? Sometimes we add a word 色 after the actual color. For example, 紅色. Right? 色 is the color. Right? 紅色、橙色、黃色、綠色、藍色, and so on and so forth. So I'm running out of time. So I'll talk to you next time. But then the next episode will be about the usage of Cantonese adjectives. So long for this time. I'll see you next time. Bye.